If the clerk, Carrie, could please take the roll call.
Supervisor Federici,
Here.
Councilman Fancher,
Here.
Councilwoman Mattice, here. Councilman Couchman, Councilman Smith,
Here.
Gary Sutton, here. Richard Irwin,
Here.
Marie Stuber, Diane Williams, William Amon.
Here.
Okay. Could please stand? Pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First thing we're going to do is talk about local law number 2 of 2022, which we have copies on the table over there if anybody's interested in it. What it entails is I'm going to give some background on it. We're not going to really get into it tonight because we have to do a public hearing. But what it talks about is some of the regulations that would benefit the town and protect us in terms of liability in the case that if we know about one of these short-term rentals, B&Bs otherwise known as, and somebody gets hurt or worse as a result of the code not being followed, we share some liability. So, and this was extracted, and I admit it, I copied with pride, the town of Jefferson's code, and just made it more in line with what I think, but the board can tell me otherwise, the mindset of our folks here. Basically, if you read my email, I don't really want to be onerous or difficult on somebody that's trying to make a living with a bed and breakfast. It's just that we need to make sure that we're in the ballpark and protecting ourselves. So that's a description. Doesn't exactly say it that way in the local law, but which is a lot more formal. But what we need to do as part of the process with any local law is lay it on the desks of each of the legislators, as they say, which is us, and have a public hearing on the subject 30 days from then. So what I would like you to do, unless you don't agree, is to make a motion to have a local law number 2 public hearing at 7 p.m. at our next board meeting on November 14th.
I'll make a motion.
Who makes the motion?
Second it.
Second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. And I imagine we'll get some comments on it, which is a good thing. Anybody sign up for privilege of the floor?
Mr. Ryan.
You're up.
We had several encounters on the road between Conesville and Manorville, and I found myself to get a petition to lower the speed limit on the road.
Okay.
Where does it start to be 40?
Well, it's 40 now from the Albany County line to Manorville,
Yes.
and then it's 55 from here to Manorville.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 45 from here to, I don't know where it ends, this way.
And over by Clayton, something like that. Goes up to 55 again.
Goes through West Conesville.
At 55 up again.
Now 45.
No, that's 45 through the village down there, but it is from the village, and I believe it is just this side of Adams by DeBrama's old place is where it turns to 45 again.
Okay.
Yeah, Yeah, I was just addressing this part here from
Yeah.
the county road,
Mhm.
not the state highway.
No, you're lucky because that's a lot harder process.
Yeah.
All right, we did this once before. And this would be subject to that same process if the board decides to pursue it.
Yeah, the county has to approve it, 'cause it's their road.
Yes. Yeah, just like we had, and then same thing with, was their road with, all the way down to the county line.
Yep.
And then the state gets involved. Why, I don't know, because it's not a state road, but they do. And they don't have one, but they have two surveys to make sure they coincide with one another. And they send engineers out, but more than anything else, they'll go and they'll look up history of accidents on that road, which would demonstrate that, not all the time, I guess, but many of the times, the condition or the circumstances of the road are what caused it. And it is always a lot better than the board just saying, hey, we should do this. Then it's a lot better to have petitions signed.
I know it's a process.
All right, so it's not gonna be like, if this is what we want. And I will say one other thing, but, you know, just, because this is something that came up last time when we did this. Everybody on the road, with one or two exceptions, that live on the road, signed that petition. And when we passed it, everybody who didn't live on the road was up in arms. My personal opinion is the opinion of those people who live or have a business on that road have to say, and unless there's some reason that it's just an overwhelming should not be done. I mean, I'm doing all the talking, I'm sorry. Does anybody have anything they want to add?
You're doing fine so far.
Thank you very much. You like I could talk slower and be here all night?
That's not necessary.
No, I'm
I understand and agree that it should be lower, but the towns are 45. That doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
Going through town, you can go 45, but
Well,
outside
yeah,
of
but
town, you
Manorkill,
gotta-
I mean, going from this county line to where it ends at Beaver Hill Road, it is 40.
yeah,
I know, yeah, and I think your point is, it's not consistent.
no, because the towns, you can go faster through town than you can outside of town.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, this is a state road, in much better shape, you have much better field of view than you do going
And that's
from
county.
here to Manorkill. It's a county road, it's narrower.
I get it.
Not
I get it.
living on the road or any, I've encountered the exact same thing Jim has. I've been almost run over by tractor trailers and dump trucks that come through there. Because we have the business now in Manorkill that sells stone and stuff, those
Yeah.
vehicles come through here and they have very little regard for the smaller vehicles or the speed limits posted. I was actually gonna ask you tonight because the last 2 nights, I've seen it where the sheriff's department has been sitting and watching here in town.
Oh, good.
So I thought that there's something going on. There was one behind the firehouse last night, and tonight at probably 4 o'clock, there was a deputy sitting on Beaver Hill watching Powder Mountain.
Good.
So
Did you call them or say?
No, I did, but, I mean.
somebody might have said something.
We've had some accidents here.
Oh, yeah.
And I've had several close calls just pulling into my place. People are passing me as I'm trying to pull in there. Everybody passes you there, passes all the campers. Try to pass the farm equipment there and they can't,
I know.
you know? And they're running right out in the field trying to pass the farm equipment. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I've seen that myself.
I'm not saying it's gonna solve the problem, but it might help.
No, well, it's also a matter of enforcement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one thing the state will say. Well, if we don't see that, but we know there's accidents. And if this board wants me to, I'll beat the drum to make it happen. Not that I have any influence over them, I just can be persistent.
You can make them look at it.
Yeah, I'll talk to Dan. Dan's our DPW from the county. Yeah, he's all right. He doesn't care, so he'll probably do whatever we want.
I think it would be better all the way around, but, I mean, I just don't think that, what's it gonna take you, 30 seconds longer to travel that distance?
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
I don't think posting it will change how people drive, but at least we have some recourse if something does happen. That's the biggest issue. Because like I said, some of those guys come through there, they're doing a good 55, you know, and they got a load of stone on,
You can't stop.
you know? There's no way they're gonna stop if somebody's kid runs out in the road.
We've got so many farmers on this road now, too. I mean,
Mhm.
several of the farmers who traverse in this area here. It's just not safe anymore.
Yep.
No, okay. Well, if, I just would like a motion from somebody directing me to follow up on this with,
I'll make that motion.
follow up with county DPW. And we have, somebody, did you second it?
Yeah, well,
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll keep everybody advised on where we are.
Thank you.
But I just don't want to, you know, but some of these people that sign this may think it's just a matter of us saying, let's do it.
Yeah.
It's a process.
I think it took about 8 to 9 months.
But our new governor did change the law, just like recently, about municipalities being able to regulate the speed in their own municipality now.
Really?
So, yeah.
Well, maybe she should focus on that instead of guns, but that's
So,
another
I
story.
don't know, I'm just saying something happened there, I don't know exactly what it is, but.
Really?
Yeah, they were talking about Albany being able to reduce their speed to 25 miles an hour. So,
I did see
you
that.
know, and, so, I don't know, it's a broad
I don't know,
stroke.
I can find out. Usually though, we get notified, it's New York State Association of Towns is on top of stuff like that, and I haven't seen it.
This is very recent.
Yeah. No, I know in Albany and Schenectady, I think, they're lowering the speed limit to 20, 25. Might as well walk. But it's a lot more congested. Okay, I will follow up and then.
Thank you.
You're welcome to stay. Okay. Anybody else, Gary? Okay. We have the minutes from the September 12th meeting. Somebody would like, if you've read them, agree with them, or want to ask for some revision? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve them. Okay, it's okay with me.
I'll make a motion.
A second.
This is a quiet crowd tonight. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Thank you. Assessors report.
Do not have one.
Do not have one. Okay. Code enforcement report. I know we have one.
Let's see, so we had a little burst of building permits issued this past month. I think just people trying to get things done. We had 7, which is a little high for any given month, which brings us to 46 current open permits. We had one fella start some work. It was actually the old church down on Potter Mountain that just got sold. They started doing some work without a permit, but once I stopped and posted it and then spoke with them, they pulled a permit, so they're in good shape. And then just, I guess, a normal month of site visits and inspection.
Okay. I just want to mention that Rich and I have been going back and forth on some things here for, he suggested, and I like a lot more. I may have a question on 1 or 2 others, but I think I sent this to you guys late last week or maybe Saturday. And there's a few things in there I readily think are good ideas, and I don't really want to get into it now until we have 2 or 3 or 4 other points that Rich and I are going to talk about, and if we don't get to it or whatever, then we'll have a much bigger discussion anyway at the next board meeting. But I mean, there's nothing in here that's onerous or difficult on our citizens. It's a matter of making sure though that, you know, we're not doing things for free. That's it. I need a motion to accept the, okay.
I would just add to just what you were saying, Bill. Part of that, going over, updating that fee schedule is, there's a couple things that are missing that the state requires, so we just give a line item for that.
You mean like, I'm guessing now from our conversation, that the permit or the approval of the Board of Health for a septic?
Septic, demolition, change of occupancy, things like that are required to have a permit to do it. Just the fee schedule doesn't, acknowledge that specific thing, so. Just overall update.
All right, that's good. I mean, that's what this is all about. I mean, things do change, particularly when we're talking about short-term rentals, or bed and breakfasts. I mean, that's a change of use.
Absolutely.
So, all right.
I'll make the motion that we accept Rich's report.
I'll second it.
Carl seconds it. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? So carried. Town clerk's report.
Okay. Find my page. So, we had 6 dog license renewals this month, and we did end up having, I believe it was 5 hunting licenses that came out since I ran the report, and 1 water bill got paid after as well.
Oh, really? Yeah, by the end of this month, we're gonna have to put together a list of unpaid water bills and sewer bills, because we have to get them over to the county for them to be included on the January taxes. So, I hope it's not too many, but if it is, we're still gonna get our money in January. Okay, motion to accept the town clerk's report.
Make a motion.
Lori makes it. Second. Second by Kelly. All those in favor? Any opposed? So carried. Tax collector's report, nothing happening there. Sewer district operators report.
Okay. So the average daily flow rate for the month of September was 3,251 gallons a day. They've started receiving items from their order for the wastewater treatment plant, and they're in the process of scheduling annual generator service with Kinsley Power. DEP has accepted the 2021 reconciliation. All parties have been emailed. They've reached out to local septic haulers for price quotes on per gallons of pumped waste for budgeting purposes for next year's budget. Lawn contractor has completed brush hogging and dozing fields at the plant. The parts and equipment that were ordered from Orenco are scheduled to ship out on October 15th, and these items were the last ones that they've been waiting for off their wish list. Travis says if anyone has any questions, please reach out to him at the plant.
Okay. Motion to accept the sewer district operators report.
I'll make it.
Second. We have a second. Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Let me mention something here, benefit of the board in case they get a call. The last of the, well, I think it's the last payment from the contractor that did the sewer district is outstanding, but there's about 3 or 4 punch list items which aren't done to mine and some of the homeowners' satisfaction. And we got an irate phone, well, you got the irate phone call, I did, saying, when are we going to approve it? And the answer is, sure, finish what you were told you need to do. And this is, I understand from Lamont engineers, this is common. They try to cut corners, and okay, you cut corners, now I'm gonna cut corners with finding my pen to sign the payout. So, in case you hear anything, because it is a lot of money, $210,000. But it's the only leverage we have. I signed that, we're done. So, okay, I thought I'd share that with you folks. Historian's report.
So they are just wrapping up over across the street. They had the Historical Society meeting tonight, and I guess some of you all were in attendance compared to Janelle came out. Kim said she would have a more formal report next month. She's going to be doing the cemetery tour And I know she had done the seniors, gave a talk to them as well, and she did just attend the historians, conference, the
Nice.
state historians conference.
Okay.
So,
And while we're on the subject of the cemeteries, I went over there about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it looks really well. Looks good. I took my wife, and she said, "Wow, that can't be an old gate. That looks too new looking." It's probably 100 years old at least.
looks beautiful.
So thank you. I can't thank you enough for all you do. Highway Super's report. I know your voice will pick up on the mic.
It's my trademark. So rain continued to delay our progress finishing South Mountain Road, but we were able to do that last week. We're trying to rent a shoulder machine so we can button up the sides of the newly paved road and a couple other places where the shoulders could use some stone. Blenheim and Gilboa have one, but it's broken. I've been in contact with Dan Crandell. He says his is available, but not before 2 months out. So we're a little up against the wall on that one. This week I'm expecting to get a phone call back from a rental place. We also chip sealed a small portion of Durham and Boland Road where we replaced the culvert. Both of those came out really good. The guys have been doing some significant repairs to Davis, Leroy Woods, Brand, and Buell. I think we're going to do a little bit more work on Buell this week. Hayner, Champlin, and Briggs are in our sites. Weather permitting, we will continue these improvements on an as-needed basis, and hopefully by the end of the month we may have those. We may attack those by the end of the month if the weather permits. And on a bright note, we did trade that trailer in. We bought another trailer, and on the trailer that we traded in, we auctioned that one off, and we got a really, really great price for it, and it was almost the purchase of a new trailer, a new tilt trailer for the guys to move the excavator around was almost a wash. So it worked out.
And safer.
And safer. It worked out, that whole thing really worked out well. So that's my report.
Okay.
I kept it short just for you.
Very nice. For everybody. Well, I just
work, Bill.
I just want to say though that the dirt roads get an inordinate amount of attention, and I would feel the same way if I lived on one of the dirt
Yeah.
roads. So
Hey,
you're gonna make a lot of people happy.
Brand was pretty bad. And the guys went up there with the excavator, dug, ditched, stoned, and potholed, and I think it's a lot better.
Good. I mean, they're constantly in work in progress.
They are. The dirt roads.
All right. Well, I think your guys are doing a great job. Okay. Unless anybody else has something, a motion to accept the highway super's report?
I'll make it.
I'll second.
Yes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Okay, Supervisor's County report. Basically, it's always money. It always is. We have a lot of debt coming up, particularly from the stream bank project, and I can see it already because I see it at county board meetings, even with some of the supervisors. Their eyes glaze over. Nobody wants to talk about money, but it's big money. And in fact, we do have a large fund balance, which is a nice problem to have. But now the discussion is, how large are we going to keep it, or how much we're going to use to pay off significant debt that's coming up for expiration next year. Some of them are in the bond anticipation notes, like, I don't know, I think it's like $11 or $12 million. At the end of 5, well, it's 6 now because of COVID, they extended them out. You have to serialize them or pay it off, at least a 10-year note. And the interest rates are not really that great these days. So we have some significant challenges there on the stream bank, as well as the bonds that we floated for the new public safety building. That's about $7 billion. Yeah, it's a lot of money. On top of that, our tentative budget, which is a the compilation of all the requests that were put in by department heads. And year to year, they're asking for $4 million additional. And that's not even talking about the things they do, what we're calling enhancements. And that's about another $4 million. And that is only funded by the state for about $1.5 million. A lot of these are social programs, things like that. The state kicks in money or kicks in a portion. So there's going to be some real significant challenges. Because the goal is, just like our budget, at least the one I presented to you, and I hope you agree, is not to put a burden on our taxpayers and businesses when they're going through all these inflationary pressures, just like we are. I mean, we pay bills and we buy fuel and all that other stuff, so it's not exactly, we're not immune from it. So if we want to try to keep the budget, not the budget, but the tax levy, your county tax levy, flat year to year, it's going to take some significant challenges.
Real serious haggling going on there.
Well, there's, yeah, behind the scenes too, but, and yes, but among the people who really need the, say they need the money, I'll call it weeping and gnashing of teeth. But that's a biblical, but anyway. Anyway, I'll have more for you at the next meeting. I need a motion to accept the supervisor's county report. This is, yes?
Can I just ask a quick question in regard to, I saw in the newspaper about utilizing the old jail.
I read that too.
And for a homeless shelter. And I just wondered, I think if you can use a building like that, it's worthwhile. But is there any, I was wondering why they can use it, the homeless shelter, and they couldn't use it for jail anymore. They're gonna have to do something that, because they said they had to build a new jail because the jail was no longer viable, right? So I was
Well,
just
that was
wondering-
because of the flood. We were no longer permitted to have a jail there. FEMA.
Oh, okay, so it was because of the location, not because of the building.
No, the building was built in the 90s. It wasn't that old.
Okay. All right, so I was looking at this, I said, how can they say it's okay to put homeless in there? You can't put.
It's not. Well, it's not as is, but all right, that's a good question. Let me address that.
Just so you know, I'm not opposed to it.
No, I know.
just wondered how
No, one of the, as the chairman, I presented 3 or 4 goals for the year, and I presented it last year too. Blame COVID for it not happening, but to get rid of the building, sell it. Well, nobody wants it. At least they don't want it for even a basically reasonable price. But we are talking to brokers about selling it. Been representing us. The bid process didn't work out too well. I mean, we had some, well, whatever. But in the meantime, social services came to me and asked me if we would build a shelter for our homeless population. When I say homeless, I don't mean permanent buildings or like a barracks or something like that. This is for people or short-term rentals, but they're placed in hotels. Well, our hotel inventory in Scary County is not good in terms of quality and quantity. As a matter of fact, one of them was condemned about a month ago. And we had to, you heard, I told you that.
No,
You heard?
you didn't, but I heard about it.
Yep, we had to move people out. The closest place available was in Schenectady. We just don't have the inventory. So they said, you know what we pay for to ship these people every day, then we gotta go pick them up for doctor's appointments, for school, and things like that. We think it's cheaper to build a place. Well, it's never cheaper to build a place. However, I said, well, what about a place that we already have? That got them thinking. So they're putting together a case that says if we had, on their end, if we had a place to consolidate these people. And this, by the way, this isn't code blue. This is, which most of you know, is when it's below, I think, 32 degrees. You can forcibly put people in shelter. It's never come down to that, but we can. I know they've done it often. So they're putting together the costs that they would avert by having these people closer into the county, and the effort, and I mean, Donna Becker, the DSS commissioner, she has at least 5 or 6 people dedicated to the logistics of moving these people around, arranging transportation, because most of them have, a lot of them have issues. I mean, I'm not pointing out to any particular people, but they have issues. They have medical, substance abuse problems, mental health issues. So what I suggested is work on that. Now I've got Dan Crandall's name's come up a couple times tonight, working on, because he also has the buildings, what it would take to bring something up to code. We've already had the State Department of Social Services, or whatever they're called, come in and look at the building, and they keep it close to the vest, but we detected that they were a little excited about it. Because on the first floor, which was flooded, and we can't use it for a jail, it was open, it was office space. I think it's 10,000 square feet. We could build smaller cubicle type rooms, I'm saying. You do have to have a place, for showers, for some of the amenities, the basic amenities. But they have a huge kitchen there that used to feed 80 people. That can be revitalized. But then you have upstairs a completely furnished, mostly they took some stuff out, but a beautiful furnished, 10,000 square feet of office space where the DA and the sheriff were. Nobody's in there anymore. It's a perfect place to set up some social services people in the same building, and with places or people that need to see certain types of medical or professional help, a lot of them daily, in the same building. Get on the elevator, you're there. If they need to go out to a doctor, it's still cheaper to go to Middleburg or Cobleskill or something like that for a medical appointment. So we need to see the numbers, but that may be a issue. Now,
Makes sense.
it does, but let me ask you one question. We wanted to build one on Hubbard Road. How would you feel about it?
Yeah, if they're needed, either as a society we say it's needed and you try to locate it where it's most convenient. I think you don't try to just put it where people aren't going to complain as much. But personally, I think if it's needed, you put it where it's going to save you as much money as you can.
I knew you would, that was a rhetorical question. I already knew the answer that you would say, but a lot of the people in the village of Schoharie,
Sure.
I'm already hearing about it from the mayor and the supervisor, who are friends of mine, but
Sure.
if it's a good idea, they'll.
Not in my backyard.
They have an alternate site on Bear Kill Road. I'm only kidding.
Yeah, no, but I mean, that's the mentality, not in my backyard.
It's like the people who love solar power, but not in my backyard.
The people who just send immigrants to certain sanctuary cities over the country, all of a sudden, they're not welcome.
Yeah.
I thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's the society we live in.
I know. Well, we're gonna pursue this, and it may come out to be just not make sense, or the state would have to approve it, and I don't know where that stands. You're supposed to get some kind of a.
Well, you answered my question on the flood issue. That was.
Yeah. Well, no, but you
Yeah,
got me thinking maybe I should have shared that more than the pressing subject of the budget.
I just, thank you.
You're welcome. So somebody made the motion to approve the supervisor's report, and somebody seconded, but I don't remember. Do you remember, Carrie?
I don't think we quite got that far.
Oh,
I
okay.
stopped you.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion from Lori, and I see Carl raising his hand there in a second. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Carried. Okay. You have in your package there somewhere. The budget amendment, only one line. Yes. Yeah, I'm the guy who put them on your table. I guess I didn't, yeah, I have one. Thank you. And all it is, and I might as well say, because people will ask, why are we paying taxes on municipal property? We received a bill for $1,065.72 from Gilboa Conesville School District for the Couchman house. And no, this is a mistake. How come other people didn't get a bill, but we sure did? Anyway, it turns out that when the registration is done on March 1st, the book will close. We took title in June. Even if we're a municipality, and I can understand the logic is, the school district put together a budget, they put together a levy, and at that time, this is what they were presented with, so they're looking for that money. By the way, we're also gonna have to pay in January, town and county tax. We're gonna pay ourselves, so that's not so bad. But it is what it is, so I added it to the budget, and we'll take it out of fund balance. It's not negotiable, I tried. And that's it on budget amendments. There might be a lot more next month as we try to get tidied up by the year end.
Supervisor Federici,
Aye?
Councilman Fancher,
Aye.
Councilwoman Matei,
Aye.
Councilman Craven, Councilman Smith,
Aye.
Okay, thank you. They wouldn't listen to me. I've got something here, it's not on the, I decided to put it in at the last minute, but it's not, it wasn't on the original draft that I sent out, and that's why we call it a draft, because things do come up. No, this didn't come up, I just decided that I wanted to add it. We received our annual fiscal and environmental stress report. Well, that sounds pretty depressing, doesn't it? But we really did good. And in the convoluted scoring system that the state used, we received a 0 on our fiscal stress. Where I come from, 0 is not good. This is, the higher the number is not good. So 0 is a perfect designation. We do have a good situation on our fiscal stress. And we also have something called the environmental stress, which takes into consideration things like loss of population, age of population, what's in there. But we are actually really good with a 16 point. They haven't designated us as having any kind of environmental stress, which really I'm pretty happy with. I mean, a big part of our job is financial. I mean, it's the common denominator on everything we do. So it's important that we do it right. So this is just a, I guess, we're happy we got it. And you have a copy that maybe you can put it, attach it to the minutes? It wasn't so good, maybe that would be. Only kidding. Don't go around saying Federici's hiding stuff. Capital equipment acquisition, that's our tractor. I believe we have another 4 or 5 days left.
Okay.
And I haven't seen any petitions yet asking for us to put a vote on it because it's being taken out of capital reserve funds.
Do we have a date
I think it's Thursday.
to get a green light? Okay, we
Yeah.
might go look at it Thursday.
All right.
Perfect.
Yeah, I according to our town attorney, and he does a lot of towns and county work, municipal, he says in 30 years, he's only seen 1 request for referendum.
I understand. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, but we had to do that.
Oh.
Yeah, so, but, you know, you said he might even have, he said, yeah, he says he might even have it in the showroom.
There is one we can go look at, and it may be the one we're gonna acquire, so,
It matches all the specs.
yes,
in the-
that's why we wanna go look at it.
Yeah, because if it's off a little bit, that throws everything off.
I know.
On the 25 days.
Yeah.
Or 30 days.
We're gonna, yeah.
Okay, and the board's already approved that, so we don't even need to
Okay.
reconvene to approve it again.
No, I've been told it's available to be acquired.
Right, you just need to give me a little time to move the money from the reserve account to checking. By the way, the interest that we're getting that's the other side of the sword. They got almost $500 interest in their highway account last month from night class.
Nice.
Yeah, we don't get that in years with the bank. So, good. I'm excited about it. Do I get to go for a ride?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll come up to your driveway tooting the horn.
All right, deal. All right, I have something here that I think is fun. And it's called Operation Green Light for active military service members in transition to civilian life. And we did this last year. I just changed it to make it a little more current. And if I could ask Carrie to read a little bit loud so they can hear it on the Zoom.
Supporting Operation Greenlight for active military service members in transition to civilian life veteran status. Whereas the residents of the town of Conesville have great respect, admiration, and the utmost gratitude for all of the men and women who have selflessly served their country and this community in the armed forces, and whereas the contributions and sacrifice of the men and women that served in the armed forces have been essential in upholding the freedoms and way of life enjoyed by our citizens, and whereas the town of Conesville seeks to honor those persons who have paid the high price for freedom by placing themselves in harm's way for the good of all, and whereas veterans continue to serve their community in the American Legion, Veterans of Foreign War, church groups, civil service, and approximately 200,000 service members transition to civilian communities annually. And whereas the studies indicate that 44 to 72% of the service members experiencing high levels of stress during transition from military to civilian life, and whereas active military service members transitioning from military service are at a high risk of suicide during their first year of after military service, and whereas the town of Conesville appreciates the sacrifice our United States military personnel made while defending the freedoms and believes specific acknowledgement of recognition be rendered to them in appreciation of their service to display the honor and support they have earned. Therefore, be it resolved with designation as a green light for military service town that the town of Conesville hereby pronounces from this date through Veterans Day, November 11, 2022, a time to salute and honor their service and sacrifice of our men and women in uniform transitioning from active service. Therefore, be it further resolved that in observance of Operation Greenlight, the town of Conesville encourages its citizens in patriotic tradition to acknowledge the significance of honoring those who the immeasurable sacrifices helped to preserve freedom by displaying a green light in their window as a place of business or residence.
I think that's wonderful. Before we go anywhere, I know of two people in the elected or appointed that are veterans, spent time in the military, and that would be Carrie in the Navy, and Carl, you were in the Army, right?
Army National Guard.
Okay. And did I miss anybody here that's appointed or elected otherwise? I'm not in that list either. Okay. Would we please take a roll call?
Councilman Fancher,
Aye.
Supervisor Federici,
Aye.
Councilwoman Matthijs,
Aye.
Councilman Crowdman, Councilman Smith,
Aye.
Motion passed. Now, what I would like to do is to ask our two veterans to please come forward. This is like a ceremony, it's nice. You guys in the military do all kinds of ceremonies, come on.
Pull chain.
And turn the light on, you gotta get up. I know you're tired, but do it together, come on.
You could do it all.
We split wood all weekend.
we have to.
Pull it together.
One hold the lamp, one hold the chain.
Yeah, all right.
You ready?
Yeah.
There we go. And that will stay on through, was it you when we put it on last year? You said, what the hell are you guys, you didn't know?
Yeah, I didn't know you'd done it.
You thought it was early Christmas night, just,
Yeah, I remember what I was thinking.
I know, but.
But it's funny, because we have green lights in ours all year long.
No,
Yeah, we keep them on all the time.
really? In military or
That's
just
cool.
like the green lights?
Huh? Oh, two of them, in honor.
Oh, okay, that is nice. All right, Couchman House update. last month, I think we talked about the report that we received and the things where we're going to focus our attentions, and of course, that was the roof. And I'm going to ask Sean to talk a little bit about that because he's been actively looking at it and coming up with some solutions. And penetrations, and part of that issue is with the chimney separated from the building and the power. You just can't call NICEAG and say, you know, give us the juice. It's been shut off for many years, so someone's gonna have to come in and inspect that, make sure it's okay and it's safe. And eventually, it's 150 amps, which isn't bad. I wouldn't mind if they said this is good for now. So when we have more money, at least we can start working. And then maybe even if we wanted, we had electric power, we could put 1 or 2 spaces that are pulled out at the end of the day if we wanted to fool around and working on a room or something like that. So let's talk a little bit about the, first of all, the roof in the back with all the skylights. I've given you the honor.
Well, the skylights are leaking, like everybody knows that. You have to get rid of them. Because they're doing more damage than what they're doing as far as lights, you know, looking at lights. So I'm going to take them out and patch that up for now.
You can put plywood over it for them?
I'm going to put plywood, and I have a few shingles at the house which I'll be able to tidy it up for now. It's actually a shingle roof where the skylights are. But somebody got a cover over the tin roof and nailed it to the tin roof. So what has to happen there, the holes that's on the tin will probably have to be corked or sealed in some way, and then you get that silver tar or paint or whatever goes on the roof, and that should probably seal up everything, which I'll sort that out.
Okay.
And that's,
You want to talk about the chimney?
well, the chimney, we're going to take it down to where the fireplace is. I'll take care of that too, and patch up the wall that's open, you know. But we have to just get enough material to patch it up the same as what's there.
Right. We did find some material
We found some.
matching, what do they call that, siding?
Siding, yeah.
Yeah, in the shed, one of the sheds it was.
There's some there, but I don't think there are enough, you know. There's a few spots just to be patched up here and there.
Just give me a little notice on the, when you're gonna do it, because I wanna order the container.
Yeah.
But I don't wanna order it too far out because then I have to pay rental.
Are you leaving the inside fireplace?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's not my decision, but I highly recommend it. It's gorgeous. Your father did that. Yeah. Oh, no, that's, by the way, I did get a call from the prior owner's father. And he told me, go into the clean out, you'll find some stuff, tools there. And there was some fireplace tools. He was right. But, you know, this all takes, anything can be done with money, so, but we're sort of pacing ourselves on
Yeah.
expense, at least through the end of the year, because we did a lot of other work. Some there, but some of the work we did here with the heating and cooling. I have somebody coming in this week, he swears he will be there, a different guy. And he will come in and take a look at it, give me a cost. He says he didn't think it was, like you said, and I didn't coach him on it, about a half a day's worth of work. And then I may ask that individual if he's interested in giving us a quote on the inspection of the Couchman house, somebody that I trust. So I'm kind of excited, but
How's the rest of the roof, okay?
not bad. I mean, there's 1 or 2 spots where it butts up against the higher part of the house. It needs to be, what would you call that? Not
Flashing?
the flashing that goes into it. And there's some problems with the flashing rotting in the front.
Yeah, that's all minor stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's a big deal, but I would need to be taken care of short.
Yeah, well, Bill Rouleau did the housing, or the appraisal or assessment, whatever it's called, inspection. He said this building, for its age, is in a lot better, quote, a lot better shape than we have a right to expect. So I'm excited about it. You keep hearing me say that, but I know. I'm in the home stretch here, folks. And I just want to talk a little bit about these recordings that we do, or streaming. We do the live streaming here. I know, Fred, you have it on your website.
The Conesville
Mountain
website.
Eagle
Yes.
has it, I'm sorry?
The Conesville website, yes.
Yeah. And the Mountain Eagles now has access to it. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm also very excited about, I don't know if anybody's heard of Scopay before. Skahari, I don't ask me what the PEG is, but it's a group that films or gets films, I'm showing my age, recordings of meetings, and it could be school districts, it could be fire districts, and so on for the library commission's district meeting. But they do these meetings and anybody can access them from around the world. They have a repository online. And they came to me. I thought we had enough, but he says, we can do this, and this is the county is subsidized, not 100%, I think they get something also from Middleburg Telephone. But we gave them some space, and there's a gentleman that comes and records all the county meetings. But they either take the local recordings or they're doing some of their own in the bigger places like Conesville. So there's 4 sources to get the recordings, if anybody's interested in it. So I'm excited because this is long term. It's not a public or it's public, but it's not a for profit or anything like that. So just figured I'd share that. I'm done. Wow. Yeah. That's 4 minutes fast, I was told. You folks have anything you want to bring up, talk about?
I brought nothing.
No. All right. In that case, make a motion to review the invoices for payment.
I will do that.
Okay. Okay. You have a second? All in favor, say aye. Thank you. You guys are welcome to hang out.